Hello and welcome back to New York Gold. Today I want to talk about dwarf rainbows. I picked some up at a local fish store, nice and cheap like, and I got them in this 20 and I tried breeding them, so let's see how we did. First thing I did is just set up this 20 with some plants or whatever. I didn't really need the plants, but I had them and I just planted them. Conditioned the fish, bloodworms, brine shrimp, and then put in a mop. I like the mops going top to bottom, so this way some of them like to spawn on the bottom of the mop, some of the top. It seems like these rainbows like the top, but you can see the mop in the back goes top to bottom. I would have rathered it in the front, but it I didn't want to shade the plants, so it is what it is. So I left it in there for a week or two, took the mop out and put it into another tank for them to grow out. So after about a week or 10 days, I hung the mop in here. This is my brine shrimp grow out tank and my fry growing out tank. I'm doing everything out of this tank, but you can see on top, those are the baby rainbows. I was feeding them golden pearls in the beginning, and now they're on to brine shrimp, and they're in there with a group of angels. They're sharing the same space. You know, so far it's working out. They're all in the same size range, so nobody's eating each other. So that's where I'm growing these guys out. The filter's only in there because the angels laid eggs on the filter, and then when it was time, I moved the whole filter over instead of moving the eggs. So one of the things that happened is I moved the mop into my little 6-7 gallon cube, whatever it is, and in here is where the mop came from, and it's hard to see in this tank because I'm always standing up, and when I opened the lid there was a ton of fry inside the tank. So now I was like, what the hell's going on here? So when I looked from underneath, you could see it's just loaded with fry in there. There's the parents. I gotta remove this mop out of here. The only reason why I left the mop is because, from what I understand, the rainbows eat the fry. I don't know if they're supposed to, or sometimes they do, or whatever, but I figured because they're eating well and they're still breeding, maybe they're leaving the fry alone. So I left the mop in there, just hoping that they just keep doing what they're doing and not eat the fry, and now I have a ton of fry in here along with the fry over there. So that's where I am. I don't know if you can tell the size of these guys, but they're still fairly small. And this is about like a month of growth. They take their time, man. They are really slow growers, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. They'll get there. So that's the most crucial part of this whole thing, is that first couple of weeks getting from newly hatched to brine shrimp. And that's the trickiest part. I picked up golden pearls, this is 5 to 50 microns. See this in the zebra video. Very fine powder. You just put a little on your finger, sprinkle it on top, and I like to do it under the surface too. That's the way I do it. And I picked up some micro worms. Same thing. The worms go to the side of the container. Get your finger in there. Little pinch in the tank, and a little cloud of white worms goes all over the place, and they start to eat. And this is it's a slow process, but they didn't die, so that's good. That's how I did the rainbows. We'll see how it goes. Bye.